Anytime you feel like there's a threat to your life, whether real or perceived, you're at risk of developing PTSD. The brain really is the last frontier of biology in terms of understanding our bodies, and it's a fundamental question that we all have about why we behave the way we do and what happens when our behavior goes bad. There's no question that the incidence of PTSD is on the rise. There's millions of people affected by trauma every year, whether it's natural disaster or school shootings or mass shootings. All of that is weighing more and more heavily, and it's debilitating, and it takes a major toll on both the individual, their families, the communities, society at large. It's an expensive problem. We're ultimately are interested in clinical interventions that can help people who've experienced trauma.
My grandfather was pretty severely affected by the events of 9/11, and seeing him throughout the years kind of change as a person from these experiences, nothing really seemed to quite get him back to what he used to be. And that was a big motivator in my decision to study this.
Texas A&M has been really investing heavily in the neuroscience program and expanding neuroscience research efforts. The endowment is the Claude H. Everett Jr. 47 Chair in Liberal Arts. It was awarded by the college to support this important work that I'm doing, and it allows me to explore areas in my research program that are a little bit outside the box, trying to develop prosthetics that we can implant in the brain to normalize activity in these brain circuits that become aberrant with trauma. And so this would be a completely novel approach to treating mental illness.
The overall goal and hope for this research is to have a global impact, to better the lives of individuals who are suffering from these types of disorders.
But it's essential that we have this basic science clinical part, because we can really get into the wetware of the brain and figure out what the molecular cellular targets are that we can then bring to people. Much of the student support is supplemented or augmented by the endowment, so it's been essential for doing what we do. And they are essentially the ones that do the science. I mean, they're essential to the research program. They're involved in all phases of the research, from developing the ideas, what research questions we address, collecting the data, analyzing the data, reporting it. They're essential to everything that we do. We're trying to understand human behavior and the human experience at many different levels. And so students interested in liberal arts education can find all sorts of avenues into understanding the human experience, including getting into the brain itself.